Or do you see any of the real Diana in Meghan? Did you?
No.
Really?
Sorry, we are uncensored, but oh my God, the idea there's any comparison between Diana.
No more following Granny's rules. Don't wear your pants on your head, Harry. Don't bath on the butler, Harry. If I want to play polo in my living room, who's gonna stop me?
Stop that.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
What's funny is that no matter what job Prince Harry gets, you realize he's still gonna be Prince Harry, right? Can you imagine being his boss when he screws up? Like, what do you call him in and say? Prince Harry, get in here, your majesty! You blew the Henderson account, my lord! Clean out your desk and may God save the Queen!
My name is Megan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
We know what that means.
That's LA.
She wants to be famous. She found the guy to make her the most famous in the world, and now she's over there and she's like, if she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She's just that lucky.
Trick that people do with pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it.
Oh my God, it's been so long, Miss Meghan Markle.
And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
What the f*** is going on with Harry?
How dare you?
I'll say whatever I want. You're in my house now.
You want a piece of me?
I will f*** you up, girlie.
The focus is starting to shift off of me.
It's been 5 years since Meghan Markle walked away from the palace gates and stepped into what many believed would be her era of freedom and influence. She had the stage, the platform, and the attention of the world, with endless comparisons to the late Princess Diana. The expectation was clear. Meghan could step into Diana's humanitarian shoes, lead with compassion, and carve her own path as a modern icon. But instead of speeches, global campaigns, or meaningful causes, Meghan chose silence, glossy PR images, and a strange obsession with Diana's image.
How great was Imelda Staunton in The Crown? Wasn't she amazing? Her portrayal of the Queen was so good, Prince Harry called her for it and asked her for money.
What followed wasn't a story of triumph, but of imitation, a carefully crafted illusion that backfired when Prince William, Diana's eldest son, decided enough was enough. The breaking point came with a Cartier watch scandal, exposing not just Meghan's performance, but also the stark difference in how William and Catherine, compared to Meghan, treat Diana's legacy. When Meghan first entered the royal family, the press painted her as Diana 2.0. Everything from her clothing choices to her jewelry, even her charitable visits echoed the late Princess of Wales. This wasn't accidental. It was a PR game plan designed to position Meghan as the modern reincarnation of Diana's spirit. The world was eager to believe it, hungry for another Diana-like figure who could bring glamour and relatability to the monarchy.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
But as time passed, cracks began to show. The comparisons felt forced, as though Meghan was more interested in dressing like Diana than embodying her courage and compassion. Behind palace doors, insiders noticed the mimicry and questioned her sincerity. What had begun as admiration soon looked like imitation, and for many, imitation without substance felt hollow. Instead of carrying Diana's torch, Meghan was staging photo ops, hoping the illusion would be enough to cement her place in history. While the public speculated about Meghan's new Diana image, William was quietly drawing a hard line. As Diana's eldest son and heir to the throne, he saw himself as guardian of her memory. To him, Diana's legacy wasn't something to play dress-up with. It was sacred. That's why he made a firm decision. Meghan was not to wear any of his mother's jewelry. Not the iconic Cartier watch, not the rings, not the necklaces that held emotional weight for the family.
Harry and Meghan are leaving the palace to become financially independent. And you see, this is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. Yeah, she looked at Harry and she's like, "Nigga, you need to get a job. You a grown-ass man. You can't still be living in your mama's house, Harry."
This wasn't pettiness. For William, it was about respect. He knew the jewelry carried deep personal meaning and feared that Meghan would use it for PR rather than remembrance. To the palace, this restriction made sense. But to Meghan, it was a rejection, a signal that she hadn't earned her place in Diana's story. William's stance would soon set the stage for a clash that spilled into the public eye. The turning point came with one of the most symbolic items in Diana's collection, her gold Cartier watch. Photographs surfaced of Meghan wearing what appeared to be Diana's beloved timepiece, and the media went wild. Headlines praised Meghan for honoring Diana, painting her as the dutiful daughter-in-law carrying on the late princess's memory. The public bought into the sentiment, believing the watch was a genuine heirloom, but behind the scenes, the truth was different. The watch was a cheap imitation, a replica designed to look like Diana's, but without the history or significance. When this revelation reached palace insiders, it caused outrage. For William, it was a slap in the face. Not just because of the deception, but because it cheapened something deeply personal.
I don't know, Megs. I've tried every career there is. Prince, Hitler. Maybe I'm just not qualified for anything.
That's not true. You're a great husband, a good-hearted man. You've got big, muscular teeth.
Thanks, Meg. And I guess now I'm qualified for this. Unemployment!
What had once been a story of sentimental tribute turned into an embarrassing scandal, casting Meghan's tribute as little more than a staged performance. When the truth about the Cartier watch surfaced, William acted. Instead of launching a public feud, he used the palace's quiet but effective influence. Magazines that had published glowing headlines were instructed to issue subtle corrections. Retractions appeared in small print, tucked away in corners, but they carried a sharp message: Meghan was not wearing Diana's watch. It may have looked like a minor correction to the casual reader, but to those following the story, it was clear. William had exposed the illusion and shut it down. For Meghan, it was humiliating. For William, it was about protecting his mother's legacy from being twisted into a PR strategy.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them.
The quiet corrections were William's way of setting boundaries, proving that Diana's memory could not be borrowed, imitated, or faked. Even without public confrontation, his point was clear. Diana's legacy would not be exploited, not on his watch, and not by Meghan. The fallout from the watch scandal revealed a deeper issue. The battle wasn't really about jewelry. For William, Diana's possessions weren't just accessories, they were symbols of her life, her values, and her struggles. Each piece carried a story, and for him, that story deserved respect. Diana's legacy was compassion, courage, and a quiet strength that inspired millions. Meghan's approach, however, was rooted in image. By staging photographs and letting the media speculate, she treated Diana's legacy as an aesthetic, something to wear rather than something to live by. This difference in perspective exposed the chasm between Meghan and the royal family. To William, jewelry was sacred memory. To Meghan, it was a tool for building her brand. That clash of values is why the scandal mattered so much.
Hey, it's the husband formerly known as Prince. Any luck getting a job?
Oh, they had me driving for Uber Eats, but there were too many damn rules. Don't touch the food. Don't taste the food. Drive on the road.
I'm sorry, Rowdy Weddy.
It wasn't about gold or diamonds. It was about meaning. And who had the right to represent Diana's legacy? If Meghan represented performance, Catherine embodied duty. Over the years, Catherine earned the right to wear Diana's jewelry by proving her loyalty, humility, and dedication to royal responsibilities. She wore Diana's engagement ring not as a prop, but as a symbol of continuity and respect. At public events, her presence wasn't about staged moments or curated Instagram aesthetics. Instead, she built her image through hospital visits, charity work, and quiet strength. This stark contrast highlighted why Catherine was entrusted with Diana's heirlooms while Meghan was not. The jewelry wasn't a prize. It was a responsibility. Catherine lived up to that responsibility by honoring Diana through actions, not costumes. Meghan, on the other hand, relied on mimicry, hoping the appearance of connection would suffice. But appearances fade. The real legacy lies in deeds, and Catherine's consistency made her the natural heir to Diana's spirit.
Mama when I step out on the top. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, oh. Hit the baby mama when I'm stepping through the door. Yeah, I'm pregnant, but I got an ill flow. Tryna make some money, buy some huggies from the store. S to the T-A, double R-K, to the E-I-S-H-A. And I don't play, doing my way. Preggo, but I'm still doing.
Leaving Meghan standing outside the circle. The Cartier watch scandal didn't end with photographs. It resurfaced in Meghan's Netflix project. In a carefully staged scene, Meghan appeared at a pottery wheel, sleeves rolled up, the camera strategically angled to reveal the gold watch on her wrist. The imagery was deliberate. Without saying a word, Meghan implied she was wearing Diana's treasured timepiece, subtly fueling headlines about her connection to the late princess. The press ran with it once again, printing glowing stories about Meghan honoring Diana. But when insiders revealed the watch wasn't authentic, the backlash deepened. The Netflix scene, meant to be harmless and even heartwarming, was exposed as another illusion. For William, this was the final straw. Meghan wasn't just borrowing Diana's memory, she was commercializing it, turning his mother's story into a prop for streaming content.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
The pottery scene symbolized everything William resented: performance over authenticity, marketing over meaning, illusion over truth. Throughout the unfolding drama, William's voice was firm while Harry's was absent. William, as the future king, understood that his mother's legacy required protection, and he wasn't afraid to enforce boundaries. His refusal to let Meghan wear Diana's jewelry was a powerful, silent defense of his mother's memory. Harry, however, stayed on the sidelines. Once fiercely protective of Diana, Harry seemed unable, or unwilling, to challenge Meghan's choices. His silence spoke volumes. To many, it appeared he had abandoned his role as guardian of Diana's story, allowing Meghan to manipulate it unchecked. This silence contrasted sharply with William's authority, reinforcing the idea that one brother had embraced duty while the other had surrendered to distraction.
Hey.
Did you know it's cold in there?
Yeah.
Must be an American thing.
It's not.
For William, defending Diana was personal and sacred. For Harry, it seemed to be negotiable. And in that silence, the bond between the brothers fractured further, deepening the divide that still lingers today. The watch scandal wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a larger strategy Meghan employed. Time and again, she wore imitation jewelry resembling Diana's, subtly inviting speculation without confirming anything outright. By doing so, she allowed the media to create narratives of connection and tribute without having to state them herself. When the truth came out, Meghan's silence remained her weapon. She never corrected the headlines, never clarified the facts. Instead, she let the illusion work in her favor until it inevitably collapsed. This approach, relying on image rather than reality, defined much of Meghan's public strategy. But illusions can only last so long. Once people began noticing the pattern, the credibility of her tributes crumbled. What was once seen as respect now looked like manipulation. And while silence might have been strategic, it left her vulnerable when William decided to speak. And his word carried weight. At its heart, the Cartier watch scandal wasn't about jewelry. It was about legacy versus performance. For Meghan, legacy was something to wear, a look to replicate, a brand to curate. For William, legacy was sacred, a lived experience defined by actions, not aesthetics. Diana's memory wasn't meant to be borrowed or marketed, it was meant to inspire through authenticity. Meghan's attempts to adopt Diana's image exposed a hollow strategy, while Catherine's steady loyalty underscored what true respect looks like. In this battle, William emerged as the unyielding protector of his mother's story, while Meghan's performance rang hollow. The watch became a symbol of the divide: fake versus real, imitation versus authenticity, PR versus principle. And in the end, William made sure that the world understood the difference. The true keeper of Diana's legacy wasn't Meghan. It was the son who refused to let her memory be exploited. Meghan Markle entered royal life with the chance to create her own legacy, to stand alongside Diana as a woman of compassion and strength. But instead of building something authentic, she chose to borrow, to imitate Diana's style, wear imitation jewelry, and fuel illusions designed to spark headlines. That path led to scandal, humiliation, and rejection. Prince William, however, stood firm as the gatekeeper of his mother's memory. With quiet corrections, firm boundaries, and unwavering authority, he ensured Diana's legacy would remain untarnished by performance. Catherine, through years of service and loyalty, became the true inheritor of Diana's jewelry and the spirit it symbolized. Meghan, in contrast, was left with nothing but staged illusions. In the end, the Cartier watch wasn't just a timepiece. It was the dividing line between authenticity and pretense, between honoring Diana's legacy and exploiting it. And William made sure the world knew the difference.